of Lincoln Heights. So let me give you a little bit of history of this issue that's going on. I know you've all heard about the mayor's initiative to build homeless shelters, and they've passed their law two laws this week, saying that they want to expedite these developments with little oversight, and then that they're not going to require parking. Well, in some instances, that implementation may work. I don't suppose it's going to work in all. So if you don't mind for this, because I do want to participate in this discussion. As president, I'm going to, in fairness, I'm going to hand over the gavel to Amelia Garcia here, so she'll take over my spot, and I'll step aside. So I do want to participate in this participation. All right. So I'm going to have Scott come up and talk. This is Scott Johnson with the Lincoln Heights Coalition. This is Ray.
Hi guys, my name is Ray. I'm from Lincoln Heights, and just to give you a quick background about what's happened so fast and how this has gone together. I know some people have heard, some people haven't heard, so we just want to give you the full update when we can. So basically, I'm a community member in Lincoln Heights. People always ask me, do you have a business? Why do you care about this? What's going on? Who do you work for? Most people tell me, I'm like, I don't work for anyone. I'm a college student. I live in Lincoln Heights. I grew up there. My family's from there. But when I saw the injustice being done, or the way the politicians have went about this process in our community, it was just very infuriating. And I know a lot of people in our community always don't want to stand up, because sometimes there is retaliation, or things do happen, and I know small business owners there may not always want to come up and say, you know what, we could do something about this. I know they're angry. Our last meeting, our neighborhood council meeting, we had like 300 people there, 150 and 104. So it is a concern, but as far as getting organized and having support of communities around us, that would really help us out. So in that injustice that we saw, I just threw together a coalition to protect Lincoln Heights, and we know that in Highland Park something similar to this sort had happened, and we actually retained a lawyer. He's an environmental lawyer. And the reason why we're upset, we're not being NIMBYs where we say we don't want to help the community. It's just when there's unfair displacement, we have 5, and I have brought little maps, so afterwards if you want to grab it, they put on 5 developments in a 6-block radius right in the center of Lincoln Heights. And I know everyone that's here right now loves their community, and they love having control or some ownership of it, where you just want to be aware of what's happening. But if the city council were to come in and your CDO were to come in and say, hey, you know what, we're going to put these here, doesn't matter what you say. You could tell us what the paint color is going to look like. You could tell us what is going to happen with the building or how it fits into you. But you know what? You have no choice. We're going to build these. Lincoln Heights is a big area, and we just wish that we would have had some kind of consideration. Like, hey, maybe let's integrate one. Because whether they are homeless or whether it is gentrification and it is market rate value, they still haven't told us. This started in December and January. We're all the way in April, and they have gave us nothing. They came to a meeting that we were supposed to be able to get feedback. We asked them many questions. All they said, oh, we don't have funds yet. We don't know where it's coming from yet. We don't know this. We don't know that. So it's kind of frustrating when your own council members are passing laws and waiting time and taking the time to do this. So as a community, we're just trying to get some recognition, a little bit of a voice here for them to listen to us. Cedillo has not came to our neighborhood council meetings many times. When he finally did create his own, he came up there. He didn't answer any of our questions. He just said, I'm from the homeless. He made himself a homeless advocate, give people dignity and respect. On Univision, he called us liars. He said that he blackmailed us in a way where he put us as the bad guys, and now no news stations want to listen to us, no radio stations want to listen to us. We're considered the biggest NIMBYs in Lincoln Heights, and I just want to come to the community, other communities next to us, whether it's Glassell Park, El Sereno, Boyle Heights, Montecito Heights, and just let you guys know that we need your support as far as being the underdogs. And as buildings construct, you see the other side of the river in downtown, everything's packed. They're coming this way. They're coming this way. We just want a chance to be able to say, you know what, let us decide how we're going to integrate this into our community. Let us know where we're going to put it. Because if you see CD1, we have the most supportive housing in the area, and we should be able to know, just to have answers. And what we're doing is, with this lawsuit, yes, we'll stop them, but we're hoping that they will not want us to go through with this lawsuit. We're hoping that someone will come to the table and say, hey, what can we do? Let's find a situation. And that's what I thank Roy and you guys for listening to us and making this petition to help us out and get someone here where you guys kind of see, like, you know what, it's not fair. The community still exists in some areas, although we may not be like Super City, but we want to keep our communities together. So, Squire, if you want to add in.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. My name is Scott Johnson. Radon and I are Lincoln Heights product. She's a Lincoln High School graduate. I'm a Lincoln High School graduate from some time back in 1984. Roy here, I want to say Roy and I know each other from even further back, when maybe we were about this high, okay? This issue here, it's about ethics, and it's about your money. You, who are property owners here in this community, were taxed as part of Measure HHH to be used to find a solution and to build supported housing and permanent housing for the homeless in the city of Los Angeles. This scheme, and I will use the word scheme, will barely help the homeless and provide permanent supportive housing. This scheme here, Mr. Cedillo sat down with the CAO, the Chief Administrative Officer, and changed the intent of what Measure HHH money could be used for after you voted for it. So instead of having 5 big units of supposed permanent supported housing for the homeless, now we get a mixed-use development and market rate housing with maybe some units set aside for the at-risk population out there who are living on the streets. So more than anything else, it's that we in Lincoln Heights are on the line here of telling City Hall and Mayor Garcetti and Gil Cedillo and the other members of the City Council, you went to the voters of the City of Los Angeles and you asked for this money. You said you needed to get another $50 to $100 more of assessment on the property taxes citywide to combat this issue. But in the end here, and it's happened too many times. How many of us remember Antonio Kennedy got such garbage tax, right? For more officers, okay? Once the initiative is voted upon, then the language changes. And if we don't make it stand in Lincoln Heights, it can be Lincoln Heights today, be your community tomorrow, it can be Highland Park after, Eagle Rock, and citywide. So not only is it an issue of fairness, and giving the stakeholders an opportunity to say, hey, sit down with us and let's determine what the best course of remedy is for the homeless issue in our community, and we are more than willing to set up that workshop and work among ourselves to identify what are the best remedies to help us in our given location. But it's also the opportunity to say, look, stick to what you sold the taxpayers. You said there's a homeless crisis, stick to the homeless crisis, and use that money for the homeless crisis.
All right, so
One last thing, I'm sorry, Ryan. The last thing that I just want to say is that what's unique about our group, and I don't want people to feel like, what's unique or has brought this group together is maybe some people are not 100% for all having supportive homeless housing, and some people are not for having straight gentrification happen in the community. Because what Scott's saying, yeah, UH money has been thrown in the mix. They're saying they're going to build it, but Cedillo has came and told other big groups and sat down and has told them, oh no, it's mixed market value. It's mixed rate use. It's not all homeless. So what he's doing is telling one group it's for homeless and then coming to us and then saying it's mixed market value. But the whole point is that no matter what it is, it's going to make a major impact. It's just too many in one concentration, and that's the main goal of this. So whether someone has their own opinions about this or this, the whole bottom line is the ethics. Where do you ask us, and why so many in such a condensed location? If you went to the heart of any community and say, hey, right in the middle of where your community is grown or built or can gather, We're going to put 5 developments right here because we want to, and that's the main issue. So, go ahead, Roy. I'm sorry, thank you.
So last month, or rather in February, the Montecito Heights Improvement Association voted or elected to support Lincoln Heights. Our stance is this, is that the change to the complexion of a community should not come from the impetus for that should not come from developers who are in it for a profit. It should come from within the community. I don't mind the complexion of a community changing if it's for the benefit of a community. Unfortunately, the implementation of these 5 homeless shelters are right behind the commercial corridor on North Broadway. So if you own the shop or retail store on North Broadway, how do you think that would affect your shopping and your customers? Of course it's going to impact the businesses there. It can't help, they can't help but impact there. On top of the fact that they're not providing parking, somehow they're assuming that no homeless people own cars, and we all know that that's not true because we see them living in their cars all the time. So without providing parking, again, the stores suffer because they lose the parking. At the same time, the homeless have no places to park their cars. So they're gonna radiate out towards the community. And again, MHI's stance is when you do this, when you put that kind of a concentration of homeless people within one small section, you can ask the deputy chief when he comes up, that will increase property crimes and eventually will deteriorate the community. So this is not a fight against the homeless. This is a fight to say, if you're gonna implement these, implement them in a way that's beneficial to the community. Your job is not to harm the community, your job is to help the community. So MHI's stance is, don't put them in the CBD and the commercial business district, radiate them out on other city properties that are out. They're planning 12 of them, but they're concentrating 5 of them here in Lincoln Heights. How fair is that to Lincoln Heights? El Sereno's not getting any, Eagle Rock's not getting any, Glass Oak Park's not getting any. Why are they all concentrating in Lincoln Heights? So if this was being done to your communities, you would understand, hey, this is not fair. So that's why we chose to support the Lincoln Heights Coalition because, again, we see an unfairness, and this kind of unfairness happens mostly or most exclusively in communities of colors. So our thing, or the MHI's stance is, we should invest in equity and equality in communities of color. If you want to build something, make it so it benefits the community, not harms the community. We've got plenty of other city properties where we can locate them. There's 15 council districts, yet they're placing 5 of them here. So that's what you should all be thinking about. So in the back, I wrote up our statement in support of Lincoln Heights, so you guys can all take a look at it. And we've also got a petition there. I'm asking for all of you guys to support us on this, so we can submit this both to the mayor's office and to the councilman's office.
And we also have a webpage, www.coalitiontoprotectlh.com. So if you want to go in there, there's a detailed timeline about, all the information, how they submitted to our neighborhood council only 12 hours before they passed the bill. They submitted an email to our neighborhood council at 2 the afternoon. The next morning, it was over. So, how often can the neighborhood council get together and really oppose something? And to this day, they said they're doing it. They chose the developer. They wrote an E&A agreement, and they said for sure we're working with them, but they have no plan at all. They haven't wrote what it is, where the funds are coming from, what the percentage of house. So there's something very fishy going on about the whole situation, to be honest. So that's where the lawyer comes in. So if you guys have, also you can follow us on Facebook. We have a coalition to protect LincolnHeights.com. It's a bigger platform. It does have a lot of members, and people have their opinions. Don't let that scare you off. Just know that when we have our meetings, we have our meetings, and I post them on there. And if you guys ever have anything to message me, you can message me through Facebook, and it's in there. I'm the admin, Ray Chidas. So if you just want to send me an email, ask me questions, you want more information, our lawyer, any of the history, just let me know. I know we don't have a lot of time, so the flyer's right here for you guys to grab.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, so our board member, Cindy Lynch.